I was like, oh, these are broken people. If Alaska is their Cancun.
Amy Schumer? Is that what I'm picking up? There's
that
like
is
this
a comedian.
It's the Stand-Up Teardown, conducting comedy autopsies. The Stand-Up Teardown now.
Hello, all you crazy cats and kittens on there in pod person land. Welcome to another episode of Standup Teardown. I'm your host, Sean Fau. Joining me as always, my lovely assistant, Mr. Matthew Ballek.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Yeah, rocky starts.
Not the usual scream intro that I'm used to, but I'm liking this new casual, Sean.
It was more of a mistake than anything, but I guess all of the best things come from mistakes. I'll settle back into my NPR voice for now, and then we'll see if anyone tickles my fancy enough to rile up the demons here. Yeah, but what are we doing today?
Well, we're doing the usual, Sean. We're looking at 3 different stand-up comedy specials, and I think this first comic is someone that's near and dear to your heart. Former host, or you may know him from the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. It's
Indeed.
The man himself, Craig Ferguson, with his latest special, I'm So Happy.
Yeah, definitely a big fan going into this. Some of the older comedians have an affinity for the Letterman, or you go older and you got the affinity for the Carson. For me, Ferguson was the man. Better than, I think he did it better than what the fuck, Conan O'Brien.
I say Jay Leno.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jay Leno is like for retirement homes. Like, it's just kind of that like middle of the road. Like he was supposed to be that though. Like he is like a much more blue comic in person, from what I understand. But
I've heard that
everyone has to tone it down for prime time, or not prime time, but at least network television. But yeah, let's stop rambling and let's take a look at Mr. Craigie Fergs.
I'm so happy to be here. I am. I'm so happy to be in the greatest theater in the greatest city in the United States of America. That's right. That's right. I love this region with its many famous things. And how about that local team? Now listen, I got to say I got to start with a point of order, and it's important because I've noticed a lot of things going on in my shows recently, and I'm a little concerned about it. I've noticed a lot more young people coming to the show.
I think this is the scruffiest I've ever seen him. He's usually very dapper gentleman with the the charisma and the charm. He's obviously got his usual energy in doing the standard bits, but
the standard bit, the
cover the mouth and the
style. Okay,
yeah, that was one of his bits from the show, like just fill in the blank here sort of shit. But
that's his hip string thing, like Conan's.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, basically. But yeah, scruffy, weird.
Yeah, I know. I can see you out there with the hope in your eyes and collagen in your skin. I can see you. And I have to think to myself, what the hell are you doing here? I mean, I still got my regular crowd. I can smell the PP and lavender. I know you're here. I know I still got my peeps. Hey, Craig, I know you're here.
I do love lavender.
He's definitely put on a few pounds too, and not that I'm one to talk, but at least he's got his most of his energy from I guess his heyday of the show.
Yeah. Hey, he's happy now, so maybe he's freed up some time for the personal grooming and just eating what he likes.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. It's just like total side note. I was in Vegas this last weekend, and I decided to go see David Copperfield. And Oh man, it was just kind of sad. Like he's
Really?
just,
Ah.
yeah, he's just kind of like mumbling through everything, like speed running all of the talking, and then like he's got a horrible like black wig on, and like his crotch is in my face the whole time. And then all of a sudden, there's a car on
pay
stage
extra
for
for
no
that?
reason, and then like
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah, I did actually. But yeah, it's just not. It was again, it was more sad than anything. It was like watching your friend's dad try and like be cool in front of the kids or something, but just like being too drunk and senile to pull it off. But in contrast, we have Mr. Craigie Fergs here, who is maybe not, definitely not as old as David Copperfield, but certainly hanging on to his youthful vigor and charm.
I would agree with that. I mean, I don't have as much of a history with Craig Ferguson. I kind of missed out on the late show because I was not a late person. But I feel bad because I feel like he'd be right up my alley because I love his accent. I love his style.
Yeah. Yeah, he just happened to catch me at the right time when I happened to be in a place in my life when I was around for late night television. You know, the few years I didn't have a overnight job or something like. But yeah, he just kind of hit the right button at the right time for me. Like I said, you know, some people are, you know, there's definitely very heavy affinities for specific late night hosts, and I feel like Craig Ferguson gets left out of that pantheon way too often.
I agree on that.
I think he deserves, you know, one of them top spots, but then again, I just never connected really with most of the others. But yeah.
But the young people are here now, and I think you've been watching me on the Tickety Talk, haven't you? Been watching on the Tickety Talk, I know. Well, look, a word of warning. I may go on for longer than 45 seconds this evening. And I got to say this because of the young people, but the old people too. Everybody, I forbid you, and I mean forbid you, to tweet out anything I say tonight during this show. Tweet out, or any of your social media, but your Tweety, your Bingo, your Zippy, your Lamppost, whatever the hell it is, I don't know, Instacart, whatever you do, Instagram, Grindr, whatever one you're doing. MySpace for some of the older. Just don't, all right? Don't, because I'm going to say some things tonight that will not be true, and I want you to listen to this. They will not be true. They'll be lies. There'll be things that, you know, I'll be saying things that I don't agree with, I don't believe. It'll be the opposite of what I believe, but in the context of what we're doing this evening, that's called a joke. Because I know some of you young people, you're struggling with that concept right now a little bit. We love you. We love you. I know. But don't, because I don't want you to tweet out anything I say or put it on your Insta or anything. I don't do that because it'll be out of context. They won't know we're here in the greatest comedy theater in the entire world. It'll just go out and it'll be out of context, and those words will go out there and people will think I believe those things, and I'll have to defend them, and I can't be held accountable for what I say.
Unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot of jokes yet, and it feels like this is one of those where if you're not a fan already, I can see tuning out very quickly. Like I'm still on board because he's got his energy, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of substance just yet.
Yeah, it's almost like we need a certain category for stand-ups that just have a more of a history and fan base.
They just get a little bit more runway.
Yeah, they definitely have certainly more of a runway that can take their time to get into the meat of the. Yeah, they're just not out there for the LPMs, which is
right,
perfectly understandable. But
sure, not necessarily the best for this show, but certainly understandable when you have that level of gravitas. We'll say, not that anyone would say Ferguson has gravitas, but certainly charisma.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of an America is that, everybody? I know. Because, look, it's nothing against you. I'm just tired of apologizing. I'm tired of apologizing. A man in my line of work, when I was doing that late night show, when I was doing the late night, no, wait. Thank you, everyone that can't afford Netflix. But listen, when I was doing that late night show, I had to apologize every night. Every night I had to apologize for something, and I meant it then, obviously. In the sense that, had I not apologized, I'd been fired. But we're not in that position this evening. I've already got your money. I once had to apologize to the entire country of Australia. The whole country. I'm not just talking about the people. I'm talking about the flora and fauna and the kangaroos and the wallabies and the Wichita grubs and the koala bears and all the other animals that keep a little spare animal down the front in case they get a flat. I don't fucking know. But all these, I had to apologize to all of Australia, but they were very mad at me. All right, I'll tell you what happened. What happened was, there was an Australian actor on the show, a friend of mine, a gentleman by the name of Guy Pearce. Do you know Guy Pearce? Yeah, he's a great actor, Australian. So Guy Pearce was on the show, and we were just dicking around, guys being dudes, and he was going, oh, Scotland's rubbish, mate. And I was like, Australia's rubbish, mate. And then I crossed a line. I said that Canberra, the capital city of Australia, was a festering shithole. I know I shouldn't have said that. I don't know, I've never been to Canberra. I should have said it is allegedly a festering shithole. We can probably cut that bit out, but what I'm saying is...
I'm hoping this whole special isn't just like a greatest hits, like, one of those episodes of the sitcom where they just show the highlight reels or the clips of the old episodes. Like, is he just going to tell stories about the Late Late Show the whole time? Is there...
Kind of wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering as well. But maybe that's what people want as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, is Gallagher not going to smash a watermelon? Like, you kind of got to do the thing that you're famous for, or at least what the people want, or what the people expect, at least. I just don't know that we're going to get far enough to see anything transcendent, anything, outside of the ordinary. But then again, if you're not familiar with his shtick already, then like this is a fairly decent primer for, what he does.
What I'm saying is, you got to just, the rules of comedy, they are what they are, I guess. They are what they've always been, really. I think the rules of comedy are, what they've always been, which is, be funny, don't be a dick. That's it. Now, I use the term dick there in its non-gender usage.
I didn't know that was possible.
I mean no disrespect to my actual dick, who's a beautiful one-eyed dude who suffers from occasional stiffness. Actually, the older I get, that seems to be clearing up a little bit. When I was young, I was all lithe and supple, my dick was stiff all the time. Now I'm stiff all the time, my dick's all lithe and supple all the time. I feel getting so old. I now make the same noises for sitting down as I used to make for sex. Oh, that is nice. Oh, I love the feeling of the crushed velvet against my taint. Oh, that is lovely.
Just sitting down naked.
I'm hungry.
Nothing new, but at least it's not what I was, rambling about. It's not just reminiscing about the show. It's at least a setup and, a premise and whatnot. Fairly, I don't want to say hack, but obviously he gives it his own spin and puts a little bit of energy to it. But
he's hitting a lot of the older gentleman stand-up bingo
tropes
here in terms of the like mispronouncing app names, talking about short attention spans and easily offended audiences, stuff like that. So
Yeah, but he was
Ferguson spin on it. Well, not even spin, but just through his voice. But
well, he was also late night 20 years ago. So yeah, his audience is fucking old now. So
so yeah, they're on board.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, what I'm saying is the rules of comedy are what they always were. Just be funny and don't be a dick. And I think the only people that complain about you can't say what you used to say are old comedians. Just old white comedians. Or just old comedians. Just you can't say what you used to say. But here's what I think. I think when old comedians are saying that, you can't say what you used to say because of the woke generation, I think what they're really saying is, I'm afraid of young people. And I get it. I'm afraid of young people too. Move too quickly, get very strong opinions about things. I didn't move quickly and have strong opinions when I was young. So I had strong drugs when I was young. It's very difficult to get a nuanced argument about pronouns when you're zapped off your tits on Pakistani black hashish.
Nice specificity there.
Indeed. Yeah.
What's your position on the pronoun argument, Craig?
Yeah, it's a pronoun.
But we got to knock it off. That's what I'm saying. And I'm glad there's a mixture of old people and young people coming to my shows now. I'm glad because it gives us a chance to knock this on the head. Old people and young people, we've got to knock this off. We got to stop fighting each other. This is crazy. We got to get along. We all share the same space. And being old is not so different to being young. I swear, it's not so different. You just itch a lot more, don't you? Isn't it just itchy? It's like being young, except you're really itchy all the time. You're like, oh my God, nobody tells you. By the way, cortisone is the wonder cream. Just get it. It's amazing. You're like, I'm itchy. Oh. I think I just gave away where I get itchy. Probably cut that out. Anyway, but the old people, if you're old, you just itch a little more. And if you're young, that's a byproduct of being young. It's not your fault. It's not your fault if you're young. There's just a side effect of being young, which is you're stupid. I know you think you're not, but you are. You're so stupid, you don't even know you're stupid. But the thing is, oh God, I'm so itchy.
Is that a callback?
But here's the thing, if you're older now, think back, older people. If you're older now, that means you were young in the 60s or 70s or 80s or 90s. What? No, Craig. Yeah, 90s as well. No, Craig, Hoopastank. No, Hoopastank. No, Craig, Hootie and the Blowfish. No, Hootie and the No Fish. They're all dead. They all died. They were all found floating at the top of the pool. They're fine. That's stupid. So what I'm saying is, if you're old now, that means you were young in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, which means back then, not only were you stupid, you were also, and I don't know about you personally, but statistically, if you were young then, you were promiscuous. But what happened is, the sexy generation, they had a lot of sex. And they had babies. The babies grew up to be the Gen Z and the millennial generation, and they did what the next generation does. They rebelled against the attitudes and the morals of the generation that came before, and it swung the other way, and sex became bad and dirty and naughty and creepy again. Thank you. Because I'm a Scottish Protestant, we're not comfortable with sex the way you guys do it, with the touching and kissing and being in the same room and all that shit. We don't. Scottish Protestants, we have sex by mail. That's how we do it. We have sex by mail. Dear Margaret, I hope this letter finds you well. Oh, you like that, don't you, Margaret? Anyway, Margaret, as your husband, I have decided it is time we had a baby. So please find enclosed in this envelope an example of my jizz. Too much? Jizz is too much? An example of my man gravy. Man gravy? Scrotum custard.
Don't need it. Nope.
Egg drop soup. I don't know. Please insert it into your lady parts, and all being well, I'll see you at the christening. Best wishes, your husband, Adolf. That's how we do it. Don't do that.
No, really no payoff on that one from the audience.
Yeah, that was
Like, really. That's how you do it.
it definitely seemed like he was waiting for way more of a payoff there as well.
Yeah, he was enjoying that letter a lot more than the audience was enjoying the bit.
yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, not the best representation, but I don't know. I guess well, it is very reminiscent of what he used to do on the show. So it's
Yeah, I would say I'm also happy, but I'm not laughing as much.
right, yeah. And I feel like he, took a lot of time to get warmed up there. So I would definitely watch the rest of this, and I probably will watch the rest of this, but certainly, yeah, low laugh per minute on this one, not scoring too high in the gut busting scale.
Yeah, I think this one's less about. I think it's more of an insightful special because I imagine he's going to get more into his like personal life and struggles and addictions and stuff later on. Maybe that could be interesting for the not so happy angle. So I would just find that interesting and to see or hear his comedic take on things. And
he used to talk about all of that stuff on the show too. So it's I do have a feeling it's going to be a lot of
rehash.
I'm sorry?
Like rehashing of?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of reliving old stories sort of thing, which is also just kind of the problem with comedians that you're a fan of their, we'll say daily work. If you listen to someone's podcast and then you go see them live or something, like there's unfortunately a lot of crossover in the material there. Like I used to listen to Adam Carolla all the time, and then he started doing some stand up, and you see his stand up bits, and it's mostly stuff that he's said on the show many times before. There's nothing new or jarring. It's still good, and it's still I guess what you're paying for, but it's I guess it's hard to go beyond what people already kind of know of your brand.
Yeah, because they just give so much, and you've basically witnessed the writing process and growth of that bit. So when you finally hear it, it's like, oh, nice, that's where it ended up. But like you said, it's not surprising. Or
that was the problem with Carolla's movie. He put out a movie called The Hammer. Yeah, he made a movie called The Hammer like probably like 15 years ago now, maybe even longer. But it's a decent about boxing. It's a decent little rom-com. Nothing great, but nothing horrible. But the problem watching it is, as an avid listener, like pretty much every joke in that movie had already been, gone through in detail on the podcast. So like, you pretty much knew everything that was happening, who was in the movie, what they were doing, like. It's like you had a 2-year trailer before the movie actually started.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess there is just that kind of, that problem with almost becoming, I don't know if it's too famous or just too ingrained in either the culture or a specific audience, that like you almost set yourself up to fail in those, moments that you try and make bigger, but end up, just kind of being more of the same.
And speaking of, have you listened to Craig Ferguson's podcast? Because I do believe he has one.
Yeah, I think I listened to like an episode or two, and it was like it was a lot more, introspection and less comedic driven and more life talky sort of stuff. But
Got it. All right.
But who do we got up next?
Up next, this is a comedian new for me, at least. This is comedian Kelsey Cook, Spokane, Washington born, American stand-up comedian. She's been on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Comedy Central's This Is Not Happening. I guess her debut special garnered over 3 million views on YouTube and now streaming on Hulu. So this is Kelsey Cook's, I believe, latest special. And the title is not coming to me. Oh, Mark Your Territory.
Yeah. Never heard of her, so let's check it out.
Oh, man. What is up, Madison? Oh, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. I'm so excited to be here. People have been asking me why I decided to shoot this special in Wisconsin. And it's because I think everybody here has a resting blood alcohol of 0.12.
That's accurate.
There it is. There it is. That's good for comedy. Yeah. You guys seem so happy here. Just slamming cheese curds. I love it. You try to shoot a special in LA, everybody's intermittent fasting. I feel like intermittent fasting means something different in the Midwest. I feel like that's when you guys black out by 5 and forget to eat dinner. You just wake up the next morning like, I feel good.
So far coming out strong.
No, I love it. Yeah, I was thinking, I practice a little bit of intermittent consciousness.
Absolutely. But yeah, she's, a very clear voice, the writing voice, not necessarily her speaking, but her speaking voice is clear too, but just like, a clear perspective. And
confident.
Exactly. And the, certainly minimal use of stage so far, but still physically, selling the jokes as well. Like there's, sometimes you'll have comedians where there's like a divorce between their voice and their face. Like the things that they're saying don't match the facial expressions that they're making. Chris Hardwick is what I always point to at that. Like when you listen to his podcast, like he's, very animated and very sort of, outspoken, we'll say, but his if you watch any of his shows, he looks very angry and dour when he's talking, even though he's got that weird energy voice. I don't know. There's just a weird juxtaposition there. But either way, it all kind of seems to jive together and work. She strikes me as one of those last comic standing sort of comics. There's a weird sort of polished or formality to those comics often that she seems to have. I don't know if there's any connection there, but it's just kind of something I'm picking up on, I guess.
No, I can definitely see that. There is a level of polish. I don't know if that's just from being a touring comic and just having those reps under your belt. Is that a saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Maybe I've just been watching too much Kill Tony and seeing people that aren't confident, seeing someone stand up straight is just fucking totally a different thing.
I wrapped my car around a pole last night, but I feel fit. I thought it'd also be fun to shoot it here since I'm now also a Midwesterner. Thank you. Yeah, I moved to Minnesota last year in the month of January.
Nice.
And that's how you die. 8-month winters are fucking brutal. God. When I hit my 1-year mark of living there, some of my friends were like, oh, how did you celebrate? I was like, I just walked into my bathroom like it was a prison cell and etched one tally. I did learn a lot by moving there then. I learned that, God forbid you try using a bidet there in the winter. That water feels like local anesthesia. Did not feel my beehole for 5 months.
That weird lean-in thing. That was... Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like a signature move for a few female comics. Like Elijah Schlesinger comes to mind. I can't remember the name of the other lady that I remember doing it, but
Nikki Glaser.
Does Nikki Glaser do that?
I don't know. I've not picked up on that as a move.
Yeah, there's just this weird condescending mom pose they sort of do, where it's it's almost like a fucking Jim Gaffigan voice thing, but in a more physical form. But it's just this weird posture they adopt as opposed to doing a separate voice.
Interesting. I do like her actual voice too. It just has maybe it's just because of the Midwest thing that it just resonates with me, also being Midwesterner. But yeah, she's got a very kind of high status voice. I feel like she's like a cool boss or something, the way she talks to the audience.
Are we revealing some of your fetishes here? Or?
Hey, maybe.
It's such a weird state. Right when I moved there, I turned on the TV and there were commercials for vacations to Alaska. And that's when I knew I fucked up. I was like, oh, these are broken people. If Alaska is their Cancun.
Amy Schumer? Is that what I'm picking up? There's
this comedian.
There's the pacing and the cadence. It feels like there's it's like an archetype of a female comedian that she's doing, and it doesn't come across as fake. It just feels like a standard, one of the 3 types of female comedians or something. There's, I don't know. It's weirdly polished, but almost too much so.
A business casual Amy Schumer.
Yeah, weird. Good call.
Living in Minnesota and going on vacation to Alaska is like owning a Nissan Sentra and going on vacation and renting a Nissan Sentra. That's the same terrible shit.
Good specificity on that.
I moved there to live with my boyfriend, so that's why I did it in January. Because winter sucks and it's better when there's somebody inside you. Thank you, one horny woman. Yes. I appreciate you. Minnesota was a tough sell, though. I found out also when I got there that they have some of the highest state taxes. I was like, for why? You're cold.
Yeah, that's great phrasing there.
Yeah, totally.
And expensive? That's like a dog who's ugly and bites. Put it down. Let's get out of here. Skedaddle. And I moved there from Washington where there are no state taxes. So now anytime my boyfriend tries to start a fight with me, I'm like, oh, let me remind you that being your girlfriend now costs me $38 a day. Your dick is a very expensive toll road. Let me set the thermostat to 72. Fuck off. Let's pick our battles today. When he and I got together, we had that conversation about labels, because I felt ready to be called boyfriend and girlfriend, and he goes, being in my 40s, I feel like I'm a little old to be called somebody's boyfriend, but if you call me your man friend, it sounds like I'm not allowed in your playgrounds. I was like, all right, well, what are you gonna call me? And he goes, I'll just be like, this is my lady. And I was like, well, we're not at a Renaissance fair. So, no. Also, I can't use the equivalent of that. I can't be like, Mom, Dad, I'd like you to meet my lord. And he's also a comedian.
Yeah, it's like that business casual, man, that's sticking with me. That is like, it was like such a restrained sort of physical gag there, but it sells it just enough. But like, yeah, it's I don't like. She reminds me of another comic, and I can't like. It's not quite Amy Schumer. It's almost got that sort of vibe to it, but like, I feel like she's doing an impression of another comic, but it's not because she feels fake. It's just like, I feel like I've seen this before, but I've never seen her before, you know? It's almost like a comedy deja vu sort of thing.
No, I'm getting that same tingling where it's like, maybe it's not even a comic. It's just like some amalgamation of like people I've met in my life that have that same sort of like snarky, but professional, like, they got their shit together and they're smart, but they still have this very funny, way of looking at things, or even just, her voice or turns of phrase. I'm like, this is just reminding me of like someone I know.
Yeah, it's like a corporate business lady archetype sort of thing. I don't know. It's, keep going back to that business casual. It's like it's just.
It is a smart top as well.
It is, yeah. It's like just blew enough to work in the clubs, but like, there's only like a couple of lines that you would have to cut to make it a corporate gig. So she like is kind of in that line of working clean, or could if she had to, it seems like. I don't know. But yeah.
And my ex-husband was actually a comedian too. I can't stop shitting where I eat. My love life is a Chipotle. Just keep the eating and shitting all under one roof. It's very convenient, very farm to table, They're right there. And I wasn't much of a jealous girlfriend in my 20s, but then some switch flipped in my 30s. And now when I see somebody hit on the person I'm with, I just feel myself anamorph into the cast of Jersey Shore. I am ready to brawl. And he does get hit on. When he walks on stage, women whistle at him. And at comedy clubs, there's usually a security guard in the back to kick people out in case they heckle. So at his shows, I've just started to stand next to the security guard. And if I see a woman laughing too hard at one of his jokes, I just walk up and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. He's my favorite comedian. Well, he's my lord.
That counts as a callback.
I
feel like most people assume I'm exaggerating during that joke, but if you follow me...
Like, we're still talking about the relationship with the boyfriend and like...
Same topic, but not same joke.
All right, yeah, I'll give you that. That's a callback.
Fine. You'll know I posted a video a few months ago of a woman who sat in the front row of one of my shows, and after I told that joke, she goes, your boyfriend is my favorite comedian. We've seen him like 8 times. And I was like, lady, did you not just hear that this is when I go snooky on somebody? What are you doing? And she doubled down. She's like, he's so cute. He's so hot. And he responds to my Instagram comments. And that's when I took out my hoop earrings. All the men in the crowd were looking around like, Jerry. It's like, yeah, time to fuck around and find out, madam. Get up here. I don't actually worry about my boyfriend cheating on me. I feel like men's bodies start to really turn on them in their 40s. He has to wake up every 2 hours in the night to pee. And when I see him in the morning with bags under his eyes, I hug him and I go, babe, I'm sorry you didn't sleep well. And then I think, you're too exhausted to cheat on me. You're not getting enough REM to pull off 2 relationships. I like you slow like this. Can catch you if I need to. Get back here.
Yeah. Not the strongest thing to end on, but I think that's enough time with her. Not that she was bad or anything.
No,
again,
I like
just
that.
like that.
I'll come back to that special for sure. I like her. Yeah, comedic voice, and it's got some solid jokes. Like had some good laughs for me at least. Like right out the gate. So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
all special.
Yeah. She's strong. Again, I'm just stuck in this like weird, uncanny valley of like having deja comedian vu or deja comedy vu, whatever. Like, yeah, it just feels like. Yes, there's just something weird. There's something weird about that. Like it. I feel like I've seen her before, but I know I've never seen her before. So yeah, that's just bothering me more than anything, or more than it should really.
We'll do a show now. Wants to do like an IMDb. Maybe she's in like some show that you've watched.
I don't think. No, it's because it's the comedy. The pacing and the tone and the cadence, the way that she talks and the way that she presents is what like is really the trigger for me. Like it's not about how she looks or anything. It's just that delivery style feels very familiar, but I just can't place it.
I agree.
But who do we got up next?
Up next is another comedian I've not heard of. This is a New York-based comedian, Matt Ruby. Let's see, what do I know about him? He's been on Comedy Central, MTV, NBC, CISO. Remember that? He's released a number of specials. And he has one of the, I think, New York City's longest-running independent comedy shows called Hot Soup, which is pretty funny. And he also has a newsletter called The Rubes Letter, and podcast Kind of a Lot with Matt Ruby. So he's got a lot going on. He's pumping out content.
Right.
But this is his special entitled Bolo, which I think you'll see why momentarily.
I should start off by telling you I'm not one of these comedians who complains about cancel culture. All right? I don't have to worry about that. I'm a progressive guy. I don't say the wrong words. I don't say things like stewardess. I don't say it. I say flight, sex worker. Okay, guys? I know what I'm doing, all right? I don't say hooker, I say erection attendant, all right, guys? I'm hip, I'm with it. You know, I don't say homeless people. You don't say homeless people anymore. Now, of course, I say digital nomads. I know, all right? I don't say people with a nut allergy. I say lesbians, all right, guys? You're in good hands. It's all gonna work out. All right, yeah, boy, but look at us. What, you guys seem in a good mood. Are you on Adderall?
Right on. Yeah, he hit the ground running. I was waiting to see if there was a cut there, if that was like, a bit pulled from the middle with the high energy or whatever.
Yeah, a little teaser action.
Right. But no, he definitely hit the ground running, and I'm on board.
He's just like rapid fire. Like, okay, this guy's got some writing chops. Like, he threw a couple curveballs right off the bat. So
right. Especially for someone you don't know, great way to start, just throw out a quick premise, a few rapid fire punchlines, and then introduce yourself, a far cry from our Craig Ferguson slow roll of introducing himself. Like that almost felt like, when you search for a recipe online and then they got to give you like the history of, their grandmother for 10 pages before they get to the recipe. Kind of felt like the Craig Ferguson thing, whereas like this is just bam, throw some shit in the bowl.
This guy writes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is the difference. Just joke writing.
Mm-hmm.
You freezing your eggs? What's happening here? I feel like in New York we're all doing one of those two. I'm not on any pills at all. I feel left out, Everyone's on antidepressants or Adderall or boner pills. I'm just walking around sad, distracted, and flaccid. How am I supposed to compete with a bunch of people on performance-enhancing drugs? God, I'm jealous of people on antidepressants. I'm out here raw dogging reality. It's all friction, no lube. God. Jealous. I'm suspicious of happy people. I really am. Like sometimes I'll talk to someone, I'll be like, how you doing? They're like, can't complain. I could teach you, all right? I could give you a master class. God damn. Everyone's on pills. The other day I found out my therapist is on Zoloft. I'm like, what are we even doing here? What is this right now? She's like, you need to meditate. I'm like, whatever, you're juicing, all right? The Barry Bonds of psychology. God damn, you know? But I'm getting an SSRI vibe over here. That's good. Good to have you guys. Oh, whatever it takes to get through the night. I'm with you, you know?
Damn. That's just, like, can he keep this pace up for an hour? That's pretty rapid fire laughs per minute there, man. Like,
I agree. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah. I bet he's got to like hit like a little plateau just to give the audience like a second to recharge.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm almost like missing half the jokes just because he's like so quick with them. But yeah, I mean, definitely works, and fucking like each one of them hits. There's not really a dud in there. It's just varying levels.
Yeah, no groaners so far.
Right. Yeah.
But, you know, it's also, I feel like we're all pretending all the time. I'm sick of all the pretending, you know? On social media, we're always pretending. Like, I know this one girl, she starts off every day with a fit check. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. She tells you what she's wearing, where she bought it, and then she twirls and she gives her catchphrase with a snap. So every day I see this. You know, she's like, the sunnies are vintage Chanel, the blouse is H&M, the skirt's Alexander McQueen, and the heels are Steve Madden. Yeah. Looking good, feeling good. And I'm like, I know you. You have mental health issues. What? What are we even talking about here? You are not representing yourself accurately. I feel like we need mental fit checks. I think that would be better. I'll log on every day, just give an update on my mental fitness. You know, I'll just be like, yeah, my trauma's vintage. It's from my childhood. My fear of commitment's from previously failed relationships. My anxiety's due to being Jewish, and the heels are Steve Madden. Yeah. Looking sad, feeling sad.
He is in
You
heels.
get it,
Also.
you know?
What was that?
Because I like how he's also in heels at the end of this.
Yeah. I was just that was like the longest applause break he like stopped for, but even that he like cut them off before they stopped applauding. Like he's just not having the applause. Like, no, we're gonna keep going. Fuck you.
No, yeah, I got
Just sick of all the pretending
Yeah, I got an hour worth of shit, people. Come on.
we're doing all the time. Like, I don't think we should be letting these autistic kids score touchdowns. I know. Makes me sound like a monster. I'm just saying, if you don't know, at the fourth quarter of every high school football game now, they're putting in the autistic kid. He's like, I'm going to be a touchdown. We all cheer. Look, I get it. I'm not mad at him. It's just the pretending, okay? Also, he's already got his own Olympics. It just feels greedy at this point to come for the fourth quarter of every high school football game. Like, he's going to be special for the rest of his life. These high school jocks, it is all downhill from here for them, all right? This is their last shot at glory being taken away from them. There's not a day we pretend they're good at stuff they're bad at. That doesn't happen. It's not a day where, like, Kyle, the quarterback, gets to show up at AP Calculus and just be like, the square root of 49 is hypotenuse. And then all the Asian kids are like, yeah! Kyle's like an engineer for today. Kyle can be anything he wants. It's like, no, he can be a personal trainer. What are we doing here? God damn, it's just all lies all the time, you know? Even sober people. I get jealous of sober people for how many likes they get on social media for telling you how long it's been since they last had a drink. I see.
That's some good transition work there. Just stringing everything along, like everything like makes sense and goes in a place. It's not just a joke and a joke and a joke, even though it's like a lot of joke writing and a lot of punchlines and a lot of individual jokes within the premise. There's a nice through line to it so far. Like there's
no, it's a very good observation because I wasn't even clocking any of the transitions. They were so like smooth because he has that overarching like lies sort of premise. The lies we tell ourselves and other people. But yeah, just super smooth. And yeah, I see him using that like, what are we doing here? Sort of a just a nice way to like kind of get that extra little laugh too.
Yeah. There's like he's got some of those almost what you would consider crutches from other comics or other people, but like he just repeats a phrase quick enough just to like let the laugh kind of happen and then directly into the next thing for the most part. Like again, there's just this like tenacity to a fucking freight train of comedy here. It's not necessarily gut busting, but it is workman, craftsman, fucking yeoman, whatever you want to call it, fucking comedy here. Also, I think that's a big difference between again, regions. Like, this is a much more East Coast style of comedy, as opposed to what the hell was the lady's name? I can't remember. Fuck.
Kelsey Cook.
Kelsey Cook, yeah, they a lot more, that Midwestern sort of a little bit slower speech pattern and a little bit more, setup and punchline there. Whereas this is just, that rapid fire that, like, again, I don't know if he, like, does cocaine last an hour? I don't. Can you get through? Yeah.
I don't know. This guy could be a hypnotist, as far as I'm concerned. Just the way
exactly.
He talks and draws you in and along. It's just like, has it been 5 minutes or?
That's the thing. Hour? Yeah. At a certain point, you don't even, like, the words just kind of start to flow over you like a patter. It's not like you're not even processing every joke so far, even though they're all solid.
He's going so hard. He even, like, dented the mic. It looks like. Damn.
The time. It's like, it's been 832 days since I last had a drink. Thank God for AA. And that shit blows up. It goes viral. It's like, you're amazing. You're the best. Keep it up. Like. And I'm sitting there watching that being like, all you did was nothing. Like, you literally haven't done something. Why are we celebrating this so much? Also, what the hell happened to the anonymous part, huh? I'm feeling like you're just guilt-tripping me at this point. Maybe I do have a problem. All right. Just amazing to me, bragging about doing nothing. Can incels do this? Can incels be like, it's been 1,432 days since I last had sex. Thank God for Comic-Con. I couldn't have done it without Fortnite, You always should be bragging, and you almost never hear from them. Functional alcoholics. They're the ones who should be bragging, but they got to keep it on the down low. We got some here tonight. Well done.
Well done.
I just want you guys to pipe up a little bit more. Be like, I've been drunk at work 83 days in a row. You may haven't noticed yet. Where's my chip, Oh, you guys are fun. All right. But we got any incels here tonight? Every night I ask that, no one ever says yes. I gotta think that's part of the problem. They don't leave the house, But incels. It's crazy to me. You got all these incels complaining they can't find a lady, and then you got cat ladies complaining they can't find a man. Why isn't there a dating app to pair up those two? Incels and cat ladies, just call it Meow or Never. It's right there, all right? Like, scratch that itch. I feel like it's a good idea, Because dating's getting so crazy nowadays. Like, I was just reading that there's a sex recession going on. Yeah, which is interesting to pair up sex stuff with economic terms. That'd be weird if you turned on the news and they were just like, there was a drop in the consumer blowjob index this month. Well, I'm glad it's not just me, I guess, But everyone's having a tough time dating. You got these incels, complaining they can't find a lady. I don't know. All you're doing all day is, like, playing video games, watching porn, typing on your laptop, being like, why aren't women attracted to me? Like, I don't know, leave the house, make eye contact. Watch a season of Sex and the City and have an opinion about Miranda. Do something, all right? Doesn't seem that hard, And now they don't even know how to be men anymore. Now that we are performing macho all the time. Like, even our beverages have gotten macho. Have you seen this? Like, we used to have soft drinks. Now we've got hard seltzer, twisted tea, Monster Energy, Black Rifle coffee. Even our coffee sounds like a school shooter. That's America, all right? The only thing more American would be like, what's that beer you're drinking? Sandy Hook IPA, yeah. Never misses. All right. Yeah, you don't like it? Vote. I don't know what to tell you, all right?
Just noticing it's, like, weirdly cutty. Like, the production, the cameras are just cutting way too often. And there's, like, one camera angle that is way off to the side that is, like, just very strange every time they cut to it. But again, like, his pacing is, would kind of sells everything. So it's, he's distracting enough from the weird production. But yeah, that's a strange place to shoot a fucking special too. Like, it seems like very, I don't know, not conducive. But then again, a small place is probably going to give you a better audience or a better like interaction with the audience. So it's kind of hard to say. Like, I feel like if you're in too big of a place, then that gets lost too. So it's hard to say. Like, every comic kind of needs to find their sort of median threshold of like crowd size to specialness.
Yeah, especially with like the pace of his jokes and stuff. I think he needs to be in that kind of a smaller room, because a larger space with more people laughing, they're just going to miss like all those extra tags or add-ons to his jokes. So
totally, yeah. In a stadium, it would literally take like seconds for his jokes to get to the back of the audience. Like, there'd be this
like tag
wave of laughter that just kind of like keeps cycling through. I feel like that caused some sort of bridge to collapse or something. Weird. Again, not bad, just interesting.
That's crazy to me,
Why did they show that random dude?
I'll drink the lemonade. I don't need to know that Mike's hard when he's making it, though, all right? That feels like TMI. God damn. Life gives you lemons. Keep him the hell away from Mike, honestly. That dude is into some kinky stuff, But yeah, men getting worse and worse as women are getting pickier and pickier. How the hell is that supposed to work out, Like, ladies, can we admit there's been a lot of red flag inflation lately? Not everything can be a red flag. I know this girl, she broke up with a guy. It's like, why? I thought you liked him. She's like, he didn't reply to my text messages right away. Red flag. I was like, he's an air traffic controller. What the hell? All right? He replies right away. People will die. How special do you think you are? Because you all think you're queens now. Ladies, I hate to break it to you. Not every woman is a queen. See that tension? All I said was not every woman is a queen. And you're like, hold on, mister. If everyone's a queen, then no one's a queen. I can't believe I have to explain how royalty works. I can't believe that's where we're at as a society now. And I found that women are very mad at me for something that men in the past have done to them. I don't know if you're familiar with this phenomenon. It's always some very specific thing, She'll be like, I know guys like you. I'm like, you do? She's like, yeah, you're going to take me on a hot air balloon ride and not have enough fuel and then have to land in a field. I'm sorry that happened to you. But I will disappoint you in new and unique ways. I promise, okay? Red flags all the time,
Oh, man. I think that's a good one to go out on. But,
oh, man. Matt Ruby with Bolo. Yeah, I'm going to definitely give that a proper full watching. Yeah, I might even sign up for his newsletter because, yeah, I'm digging his writing style and just smart, funny dude.
Is he got a Substack or something?
Yeah, he has some sort of like a long-running newsletter that he sends
I thought
out.
that was I thought you were making a joke there. He actually has a newsletter. Okay.
He does. It's called the Rubes Letter.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
For Matt Ruby.
Yeah, totally. Shows how much I listen to you. Yeah. So was the Rubester your favorite then?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call because I really liked Kelsey Cook as well, but I would just say from like, yeah, I guess if I had to pick one, I'm going to go Matt Ruby for this round, but it's definitely a photo finish for like favorite.
Yeah, pure just laughs per minute. I mean, Ruby's got to take it. That's just, pure craftsmanship there of just hunkering down and, doing the work of writing fucking joke after joke after joke and being able to spit them out. I do like, what's her name? Kelsey
Cook. Yeah.
Kelsey Cook. Yeah. I did like her style. Again, there's just that weird uncanny valleyness to her that I can't get past, like, until I figure out who it is that she reminds me of, or like, maybe it's one of those like Mitch Hedberg situations where comedians, imitate other comedians until they find their voice. But like like we said, or at least I said, she had a very strong voice to begin with. Like she has a very clear sort of presence, but like that in and of itself is kind of the thing that's the deja vu for me, I think.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I might have even started to get a little hint of who she reminds me of. I think it's the female like actress comedian. She was in, I think, Scrubs at one point, maybe, or Happy
Sarah
Endings.
Chalky.
Not Sarah Chalk, but yeah, definitely also in a similar vibe. But I'm thinking of, I don't know her name. She's like in Happy Endings, and she was like more like high powered, but also very funny female character. Like her voice kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But
I was getting a little Caitlin Olsen, but that's still not it. Yeah, there's someone out there. Like, I don't know, 3 episodes from here, we'll check back in, and I'll have it nailed. I'll tell you exactly who she's fucking an imitation.
No, sure, I'll be waiting on pins and needles for that one.
Yeah, I'm probably just wrong and probably just a sexist, and all women are the same. Yeah, but yeah, I gotta go with. What the fuck is his name?
Matt Ruby, the Rubester?
Yeah, the Rubester. Yeah, Rubster's going to be my favorite today, which is sad because obviously coming in, I thought Craig Ferguson was going to take it, but like, it's just, yeah, I do like watching his show, and that was like watching his show, but I don't know, I guess that's not enough for a special for me. If he's on every night, that's not special.
Yeah, it seems like it's more of a checking in with Craig Ferguson than a stand-up special like proper.
Right.
Or maybe it gets more into like the nitty gritty of it like further on, but yeah, it just has more of a casual pacing than someone that's like less of a known entity.
Yeah, it felt like more like a reunion episode of his own show or something. Like, yeah, just
an evening with.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a good Vegas act. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all that shit. Tell us in the chat there who else we should be checking out. Send us some links of the next people we should be standing up and tearing down. You stand them up and we'll tear them down. I don't know. Try.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I got nothing.
Oh, all right, fuck it.
Sit down, it's time to read between the punchlines. Ooh. They set 'em up, we knock 'em down. Why heckle at the show when you can heckle from the comfort of your own home? It's the Stand-Up Teardown, conducting comedy autopsies. The Stand-Up Teardown now. You won't be killed. Bit by bit, beat by beat, set a punch, repeat. Ooh. They set 'em up, we knock 'em down. 2-drink minimum, it's the Stand-Up Teardown, conducting comedy